class because we're in 2 classes at college, and someone else was being taught it. Oh. Have I bored in? Oh.
He might have a delivery.
Oh, okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fine Cut Podcast. As always, it's myself and Hayden. We also have 2 guests with us. We have Ben Douglas and Adam Nixon. Say hello, lads.
Hey up.
All right.
Do you want to introduce yourselves?
No,
you've done it.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we have a spicy topic today. Do you need to go to university to do film? So, who wants to take the mantle?
on Ben.
To an extent.
Just a disclaimer as well. I was going to say, just a disclaimer as well. We're not trying to drive people. We're not trying to bash unis or no. Say that unis are the best thing for you. We're just trying to give you a sense of what options are out there, basically.
Just opinions and that, yeah.
I think I lean more towards yes than no. I think my personal take on it is that the degree itself is actually quite useless. It's more the equipment you can get at uni, and also the connections you make are the
I think it's mainly the connections there,
because you can like the kit's free, and you also basically get to abuse your peers to do free labour. Because you go, let's make a film, and everyone's like, yeah, because they're all film students, and then you go make something. So rather than having to pay people and hire out kit, it's probably worth it.
We've been there.
Year one sucks ass, but 2 and 3 very, very good.
If you want to go to clubs and get drunk and that, year one's the time to do it.
I think one misconception people have about film courses at uni is that it's all like practical based. If you're going to, I don't know, uni to study film, and you think, oh, we're just going to be making films constantly, yeah, to an extent, yeah, you do, but there's also the theory part, which I remember some people in our uni, they didn't particularly enjoy that because they thought, oh, we're just going to be making films. Why do we have to learn this? But to be fair, looking back, that was actually really important. Because you learn about the different techniques, and you learn about obviously the history behind it. And I've found some really good films through that. I remember the Idiots. Do you remember watching The Idiots? Oh my God! Did you not watch that one, Ben?
I don't think so. Not by name. It might have been a lecture I missed.
Yeah, Google that, Ben. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on The Idiots. But I thought that was crazy. Yeah, no, it's
no, I haven't seen this.
No, well, you want to see that, Ben. You definitely want to see that. Get that on your watch list. Put it to the top. But no, the theory stuff is important, really, because I don't know if you didn't have that part, how are you going to make a film? Because you don't really know much about films. You need to know about stuff before you actually start doing stuff. If you get what I mean. That's an awful way of explaining it.
I think also in year one, obviously you got to enjoy yourself and go out on the slash occasionally, right? But you also, I think my biggest advice and my biggest regret is not learning to drive in year one. Like in your summer break, learn to drive. It will get you with all the so much more work.
Yeah,
it's
learn
insane.
to drive
if you say if you go to any your local, I don't know, group about film and just say I'm at X uni this year looking for experience, I also have a car, willing to work for expenses, you're in. Like you'd be an idiot to turn them down, right? Because a runner, you don't really need to know much about film. You need to know how to drive a car, like baseline, and make drinks and stuff, right?
And Ben, I know you said earlier, the actual film degree itself is kind of useless in a sense.
Yeah,
I'd say it's not. Standpoint. Obviously, the name of the degree is kind of it's film, but any degree when you're applying for a job, looks good.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that employers care about, really, is just the fact that you actually have a degree.
Yeah,
that just proves that you can, stick to something for a long period of time and not give up. If you get what I mean.
I think my point more of was that obviously lots of things are based, like it was our one at least was like fairly balanced between theory and practical, right? And if you were more a practical person, you can't write for anything, right? Then you got, I don't know, a 2-2, right? Then, but you have like some, because the writing side held you back, right? But if you have some kick-ass show reel, then the degree in that regard is worthless. Like,
I suppose though, with the
it depends if you're going straight into
stuff,
film. Like if you go straight into film, the degree's worthless, right? Because they just go, we'll test you. If you're good, we'll keep you. If not, off you go, right? But if you've got it like there's some intermission where you're like, I need a job just to live, and you go, well, I've got a degree, then that puts you obviously ahead. But it depends on your situation.
With the theory side, though, it doesn't obviously involve a lot of writing. To be fair, not as much writing as on a lot of courses.
No.
Like speaking to friends and stuff, it looks like we actually got it quite easy with the with the essays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially the dissertation.
My dissertation was 10K, right?
Yeah, which is kind of quite a bit less than what some of my friends had to do, because theirs were based on pages instead of words. And it had to be a specific font size and everything. It was crazy. But I don't know. I think we got a bit more leeway with that, with the dissertation. But also there is plenty of support for it, because I think they realize, if you're going into film, you're probably less of the academic type and more of the creative type. But I think there was plenty of support there. It's just a case if you actually want to go and get that support. Which I didn't do, to be fair. But I mean,
no,
I managed to get by. But yeah, the support's definitely there. Go on, Jeff.
No, Hayden, what do you think?
Yeah, I do kind of agree with Adam in a way. The theory is important. It's important to learn the history about films and where specific genres come from, especially like I didn't know the slasher like genre came from Gallo films, which is Italian. Like I always thought it was from like American cinema. And I think that's a really important thing to learn about. I do agree that your degree in film production is going to be less valuable than, say, for example, like a degree in English, for example, because but obviously an English degree is going to be more highly looked at than a film degree. But I do also think that degrees can give you a head start in a way, maybe in like a different job. Say, for example, if you didn't want to go into film, like having that degree, like show it not just like shows the employer, you've studied film, that like it shows so much more than that. Like you've taken 3 years out of your life, dedicated it to this one subject. And uni's not easy. Like I've seen the concept out there that so many people think it's like easy, or it's just a way of getting a proper job and stuff like that. And I think that's so like stupid. Like that's such a stupid analogy to make, because like I've worked, like before I came to uni, I was working full time, and I can tell you uni was harder than having a full-time job in a way, because when you go to work, you leave work at your workplace normally, whereas with uni the work's always there, so you've got to find your own self-motivation. And I think that's something that the employers can take away from your degree. It's that you've got that self-motivation to like get on with the work.
So you say it's harder, but does it depend on the year, like first year, second year, third year?
Well, yeah, I do think first years get it a bit too easy. Personally, I think it should be harder, because then it gets you prepared for your second year. It's not like a shit ton of bricks being dropped on you, kind of.
I was quite unmotivated in my first year, to be honest, just because obviously it was fine, we were learning stuff, but I don't know, it felt slow, and it felt like, they weren't really pushing us in the first year. But I completely understand why, because obviously some people are obviously new to the subject. But yeah, I just feel as though if you're going to uni for it, you've probably already got some experience in it.
I think also in our case, Adam, because we started in the same year, was that the fact that like within, I don't know, maybe 3 lectures of first year, they went, by the way, all you need to do this year is pass. It has no effect on your degree whatsoever.
That's the same with all courses though, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. This in general, I think uni is telling students that can just kind of bring down makes you go, what's the point?
Yeah, like, motivation, because you're like, well, there's no point me trying for a first. If it means nothing, and I can just get away with it. Obviously, that's not a good way to outlook on things, right? But you just go, it doesn't count whatsoever. That's so just why would I put in my max effort? And then you get into that, that lower motivation, then you go into second year and it slaps you in the face. So it's probably not the way to go.
I saw that with quite a few people.
I
saw that with quite a few people in first year.
I think that's just the thing unis need to change in general, really. The whole, the first year doesn't matter as long as you get by, it's all good.
Or just don't tell us.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
Literally just go like, this is your first year, off you go. Like, and then at the end you go, oh, by the way, this didn't matter. But this is like, obviously we've now got a feel for where you are in terms of level. Rather than going, okay, well, this means nothing. So then everyone goes, I don't know, probably between 40 and 60. Because there's no point pushing.
I remember, Ben, actually, the course that we started on was actually complete. It was a bit different, wasn't it?
It was VFX, right?
Yeah, we were film production, visual effects, and post-production. Yeah, it was undersubscribed, wasn't it? There was
it got cancelled after our first year.
I think there's like 10 people, wasn't it?
They got moved to just film production and VFX, I think.
Yeah, because there was film production and VFX, film production, visual effects, and post-production, which is what we on, that got cancelled because it was undersubscribed, and then film production.
Yeah.
I never
and
saw
then we had the option, and then it was
and then there was production design as well. That was
Did anyone go for
course.
That? I don't think.
I think a few people did. Obviously, it's too niche, I guess. So that one got cancelled as well, I believe, and they were moved to. Film.
Yeah, by the end there was only 2, right? There was the VFX one,
because a film production course covers it all. Because you've got the production design aspect in a sense. Obviously, if you want to do that, you say that you want to do that and you learn about it. Because I remember in the third year there was, you could choose editing or cameras or stuff like that. You get split off into branches depending on what you actually want to focus on.
For our course though, I would have done that earlier.
I suppose
our course on mine, because obviously you guys were a year below, right? We did 3 lectures over 3 years on audio, 0 lectures on production itself, as in producing at all. Which, I mean, it's more, there's no like straight way of doing it. It's more like, yeah, you literally have to try it. I get that, but literally there was no like any baseline level teaching. It was all camera and post, which is obviously.
But how would you teach production? How would you actually teach that? Because it's just filling in forms, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah, but it's like if you just got handed a form and say fill it in, there's probably a lot of stuff you haven't seen before. Yeah. So like even if it was just one lecture,
the support is definitely there, because if the course doesn't cover something, your lecturers are obviously all trained.
It was more like our lecturers were all more camera and post based, right? It wasn't very broad in. Like we had you had to literally do the audio course basically to get any audio knowledge, because we had the audio guy come and teach us, and then there's no production design person there, so you sort of slowly tunneled into camera and post unless you're willing to go and try stuff, which a lot of people just go, I'll just do camera because XYZ.
I suppose that's up to the person, isn't it? Though, like if they don't want to. They can't really complain. Say if you're like, oh, I want to go into production design, but the course doesn't have a module on production design. I'm just not going to bother. That's down.
It's more of the case of like, I don't know. You wanted to be a sound recorder, right? You go into film production. You do first year, then you go, okay, like you sign up as a sound guy for 3 projects because no one wants to do sound. Then you go into second year and you go, well, how do I improve other than actually doing stuff? And you go to a lecturer, and because they're more camera, that is, they know very limited about audio.
I suppose that's the thing though, because I don't know, you do learn film sound on audio courses. You learn how to record 4 films, So I suppose probably the thinking behind that is, there is already a course specifically for audio that covers that. If they want to do audio, they should be thinking about that course. Obviously, in the first year, you've still got kind of free reign to switch courses to something similar if you want to. So say if in your first year you're like, oh, I like the idea of being a sound recordist, but the modules here are mainly visual. I'm going to switch courses to an audio course. But you've still got that freedom in the first year to kind of decide, oh, actually, this isn't right for me. I'm going
it just hinders if you find out later on, right? If you're mostly a camera guy, right, and there's about, I don't know, you're a 40-man course and 20 of your people want to be the next, I don't know, Christopher Nolan, right? You're kind of like, okay, so I've got to move to something to get into a group, right? And then you go, I'll do sound. And you're second halfway through your second year. You're kind of like, okay, well, I'll be the sound guy now. But you're already so far behind that it's hard. And there's no one really to approach. Oh, well, from our course anyway, there's no one you could really approach and go, how do I enhance my audio skills? Because they're all not.
I do think, though, that's partly because, obviously, going on to a film course, pretty much everyone wants to be a cinematographer or a director or something like that. So that's the things that they teach, because obviously it's the amount of people subscribe to that course, the majority of them want that. So that's why they teach it.
But that's why I liked in third year where you had the option of choosing one or the other.
Yeah.
If they did that in second year as well, of go, you can enhance your post-production, or you can practice your audio. One or the other.
Yeah.
Because there were so many people. If you like in our year, we had 3 sound recorders, right? If we said no, like if any of us said no to your film, you could straight up say your sound was going to be shit because no one knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And then there's also the budget that the uni has. Like the uni has a fixed budget, and for our particular uni, there were C100s, there were F5s, there were Red Epic weapon, Heliums,
Arries,
Arri Alexa Minis, and
I didn't get the Arri.
You had the Arri film cams as well.
Yeah, the film cameras as well. So in terms of camera, you got cameras which are like industry grade that they obviously put a lot of money into. That's obviously great. Like that in and of itself, that camera stuff is good, but with sound equipment wasn't the sort of stuff that they have. Like, it's not like the equivalent to an Arri Alexa in terms of sound. It's just like the basic,
the equipment was
stuff.
all broken as well. Like, because no one cared for sound, right? They would literally use the mic, leave the battery in, it would corrode, completely bugger up the mic. They'll just throw it in. The equipment center just went, yep, it's all intact, and then just put it back. And you would just have you would have to like book out 3 separate ones. Go, this is just buggered.
I was a very big preacher about sound equipment in uni, because like you've got the task cams, like they were the main like sound recording equipment, and they're not industry standard, or not even close to industry standard really.
I'm trying to remember what I bought. It was the big brick one. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Summit NT8.
The Roland R88.
Roland R88. That's the one I always booked out, because it just like if you didn't do sound, it just scared you. Because you're like, it's 8 channel. What do I do? And you're just like, I'll take it and use 2 of the channels, and I know it works because no one touches it.
Yeah,
I think I was looking.
Like, we never had a lecture on it.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I was saying we never really was taught on the R88. Really, we were just taught on the task cams, which I thought was a bit, I don't know, contradictory in a way, because we're supposed to be like doing industry practice, but we're like using, I don't know what you'd even say, amateur equipment. Would that be?
The sound equipment wasn't up to the level of the camera by far, which is what you expect, right? But you would expect at least a couple.
I think it may have been because obviously the task cams were easier, and obviously it's the visual side that is mainly being taught. So they were like, let's teach them on an easy sound recording device. They've actually got the skills to actually record sound. At least their films will have sound. I think that was probably the thinking behind that. Yeah. But I think I was lucky in the fact that I've got friends, like my friend Ty, he does audio a lot. And your final film, then he helped like mix all of that and stuff. Obviously, it wasn't perfect because I think we had to use a Tascam in the end, didn't we? Because one of them was broken.
We used. Yeah, it was a Tascam. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't obviously perfect sound, but he managed to kind of bring it out a bit, and obviously added all that the nightclub sound and stuff, which I thought sounded really realistic. But I think we were just lucky that we know someone who does sound properly.
Yeah. But I think going back to like the equipment center in general, it's more like I feel bad for you guys. Like it was bad enough for us as like 40 people. Like this was before we even had the Aries, right? So it was 40 people in, I don't know, groups of 6 or something, right? So about 8 groups trying to get these reds was terrible, right? And I swear, like going into your year, it probably doubled in terms of student count. And that must have just been absolute hell to try and get the equipment. Like, I think that's. I mean, I don't know what they've done since, but I would use the budget to just buy some cameras, please.
It involved a lot of liaising with other students because I remember just before we were going to do our final films, obviously they all got cancelled because of COVID. Sadly, actually, saying that, I think the equipment center told us when we can, they will still help us make our film, so we can still use the equipment, which is nice.
I mean, if not, I can just liaise with a certain lecturer and get in.
Oh, okay. What was I saying? I don't remember.
It was about the equipment center and cameras being limited.
Oh yeah. So obviously before COVID, we were doing our final films. We had to kind of liaise with everyone. We need the camera on this day, and there was a whole spreadsheet of when we need the cameras. And for whatever reason, people decided it was so stressful. People were like ignoring other people's dates, putting their dates in here and here. I need this camera for 2 weeks. I'm like, you can't have it for 2 weeks. There's 3 other groups that need to film in these 2 weeks. Yeah, but we need it because we might have to do reshoots. If you've got to do reshoots and book it out again after we finish filming it, oh my god, we got it in the end. Obviously, I wanted to use an Arri. We had to settle on a red. I say settle on a red. Reds are still fucking.
It's only a red.
Yeah, a red. Oh, no.
Was that because of us, Adam?
No,
we were flying out in the plane.
No, I was fine with you because obviously you were going to a different country. There were a couple of other groups. For
a week and a half, then
well, that was fine because you finished filming 2 days before I started filming. So that was fine.
Yeah,
there was a couple of other groups that were literally trying to hog the cameras, and it was
the same.
Yeah, and it was like, why do you need it for that long? It's like, because we might need to do this, we might need to do that. Like, well, you should probably plan it out.
My deadline was in May, right? I think.
Yeah.
And we shot in April, and I got so berated for it because they were like, "Why are you shooting so late?" And I just went,
"We got it done. We got it done."
No, that wasn't the issue. The editing wasn't the issue. I was like, I trust my editor Adam to get it done, but I was also like, there's literally you try and film in March.
Yeah.
Get a camera for me, I'll film in March. I literally cannot. I can have the camera for I think it was over the whole of March, I could have the camera for 7 hours because it was just that booked, and I was like, I can't, you have to understand, I can't do this.
I think that worked out filming in April because obviously everyone in that year, they'd filmed theirs earlier. I know you helped out on a couple of them then. Everyone filmed earlier, which meant obviously if we had any tech issues with any equipment, we could just straight to the equipment center, get another one out because no one was using them. So that it was actually kind of good that we filmed that late.
Especially with I spent so much time in pre-production that minus a couple of hiccups with kit.
And it was mainly all on the first day, as you'd expect, really, just teething problems.
I scheduled it
buzzing
for,
on the mic.
It was a 5-day shoot, and that was including a day off because it was one of our actors' birthday. So I just went. It wasn't a day off. We did half a day.
Yeah.
So it was
good old Trish.
4.5 days, if that, of a shoot. It was very, very nice.
Yeah, and recently put some behind the scenes / outtakes on Facebook. Bouncing Betty on Facebook. Have a look at that, lads. They're still milking it. Still milking that film.
This wasn't your final year film, Adam. Almost like not a sequel, but like a spiritual sequel to that.
Exactly. It was like a spiritual success to it. We're using the same actress, Trisha Ford. Absolutely amazing. She's an absolute laugh.
Nutcase of a woman.
And I had another lady. What's her name? Cut this bit out. What's her name? Sarah Beasley, I think it was.
Yes.
Yes. Sarah Beasley playing Linda. It's called Ruth and Linda. Search that on Facebook as well. It's completely dead now. And we had Alfie Dobson as Detective Hunt. First name Urak. Try saying that together. Go on, Jeff. Take it away. First name Urak. Last name Hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had him as Urak Hunt. We had Ricky Stone as Derek. He's like
my favorite character is the bingo caller. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, the bingo caller, Ricky Stone. He's been in some adverts for. I think it was a famous mobile game. What was it?
Raid Shadow Legends.
No, God. Can you hear that engine outside, guys?
No.
Good. That's brilliant. Clash of Clans. That was it. Clash of Clans. He's been in adverts for that. IKEA, Just Eat adverts. Really, really great actor. But, I just hope we can actually go through with it and everyone's still available. I can't even find a trace of Alfie Dobson anymore. He seems to have vanished from...
Alfie Dobson.
He's gone.
After all this is over, everyone's going to be hungry to work on things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to just get back doing stuff, honestly.
Yeah, same.
I mean, first up is learn to drive. That's my plan.
Yeah. Move out.
I think I'm gonna write off most. Last year was a write off. Most of this year will be a write off. Just slave away, learn to drive, and then 2022 back to normal. Off we go.
Same boat as you, Ben. Definitely.
It's just horrible. I think other than when I could have started to learn to drive, but it was
I did start, but COVID.
Yeah. I mean, I should be doing my theory now, or at least learning my theory. But
you want my advice? Don't rush doing your theory, and there's no point in rushing.
No, it's I've got a while to kill anyway.
Yeah. No, but just going back to the equipment. Let's say the uni compromise on budget with cameras. So they got instead of high-end cameras, they have average cameras and then had average sound. It wouldn't have that same draw, would it? Because the draw they show off that they have Alexas and Reds and all these other things, all these other Netflix-approved cameras that you can use. Yeah, people come for that. But...
I just think
Netflix approved.
If they have there was 40 of us about, right, and we had 2 cameras, terrible, right? But if you go into, I don't know, let's say 2 years from me, so last year now going into, right? There's probably 60 plus now, right? Because the film just kept growing. I think you should have a baseline for the budget, right? Of just go, this is how many people we need to sign up to make this course worth it. The rest of let's say you spend 10 sign-ups for 90 grand, buy another camera. That's that, or just more equipment. That's the way I'll do it.
The thing is, though, with the equipment and stuff, it's not just kind of uni projects that you have to do with it. Obviously, you can book that out whenever you want or whenever it's available, and you can do your own projects. I did a music video. I filmed it just before the start of our third year, Jeff and Hayden. Just before the start of our third year. I ended up finishing it after our third year ended during the midst of COVID, just because I had no motivation to do it. But I finished it anyway. It was shot on one of the C100s because I wasn't kind of trained on anything else, to be honest, because I didn't really focus on the camera stuff. But we're on 102k views now. Self-promotion, search Kid Trash Exotic official music video shot / edited by Adam Nixon on youtube.com, and you'll find it there.
No, we should do it. We need to shout Adam is get in lane.
Oh, shall we talk about that?
Could do.
Okay. This is a bit of a call out here. So, Ben Douglas here, Ben Evans, who else was it? It was Timmy. Who else was there?
It was Jeff.
Jeff was there. Sorry, Jeff. You were there.
See, everyone's repressed it. Even he didn't know he was there.
No one remembers. Let me get it up here. So it was a local band. They wanted a music video.
It was the actress from Evans's first film,
which
her brother was
finished.
in a band, and they needed a music video. So they approached Evans. Evans asked me to produce it. I found the studio, we got there, and then we filmed it. Filming wasn't the issue. It was like post where they absolutely cocked it up.
Right.
In which Adam can take over because he dealt with it.
Originally, I was slated to edit this music video. The footage was great. There was a plan for it to be 4:3, kind of like a retro kind of 90s music video, something like that. So I was working on that. Got it edited. Showed it to the band. They were like, "Oh yeah, can we make a few changes here and here?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Got them all done. Evans went for a meeting with the band, who were like, "Oh, do you mind if we just have the footage?" Obviously, for whatever reason, Evans was like, "Yeah, sure."
I will interject. It was very, very stupid to give them the footage.
Yeah, but either way, I don't think Evans thought they were going to do anything with it. They just wanted it, maybe to use it in some promotional material or something like that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Obviously, it was a free music video for them, wasn't it? So we're like,
they paid our expenses. I think
that's like, yeah. So we're like, have the footage, whatever. It's nearly finished now. Comes out. A couple of weeks later, the music video is uploaded to YouTube and it isn't my one. So we're like, what is this? We have a look. It's on their official YouTube channel. So they've done it 4:3, but they didn't export it in 4:3. They exported it 16:9, added black bars to make it 4:3. Then slapped this Instagram style filter over the whole footage.
The blue is disgusting.
What was it shot on? It was shot on
it was on red.
It was a red. Yeah. There was a red and a C100, wasn't there?
Yeah, the C100 was for B-roll. Yeah.
Just get lenses from it.
They didn't kind of color correct the footage at all, so it was still flat with a filter laid over the top. So Evans was like, "You know what? Get your one out. I know it's not finished. Upload yours." So I uploaded mine, director's cut. I'll be honest, don't mean to blow my own trumpet. Looks a lot better.
It does look a lot better.
And then they also, in the description, they missed out the credits completely. They didn't mention your name, Jeff. I don't think they even mentioned Douglas's name. No,
they literally just said filmed and directed by Ben Evans, edited by Jason Bruce. Like we have, from in their regard, we weren't a part of this.
Yeah. But so I uploaded my version and it got dislike bombed. They sent people to dislike it. So that's that story. I still credited them in the description though. Get their 7-inch vinyl, but yeah, that was a bit of a mess.
So word of advice, don't give your footage out.
Yeah, don't give your footage away. Even if
you're going to do it, at least make sure you have a contract. Because we did it as basically a mate's favour, right? So we didn't do any formal contracts or anything. But looking back on it, I absolutely would have. Because you can't hire someone, basically rob their work and then go, yeah, cheers.
Yeah. Kick in the teeth, that.
So just as another question, obviously at uni we have equipment, but then as soon as you leave, it's almost like going cold turkey. You don't have that access anymore.
Yeah, that's why, in the summer months, most people, obviously you've got to probably get a part-time job. Well, you don't have to. You can quite comfortably, depending on where you are, live on student loan, right? My advice would be get a part-time job so you're not just existing. And then also use the equipment. There's going to be so many, out of the 40 people on our course, I would say 6 used it over the summer.
Yeah.
It is always there and you can make so much good stuff.
I'd also suggest, obviously, if you get student loan, put some of that aside in your first year, every semester. Start your second year, get a used DSLR or something like that. Get some old lenses, like vintage lenses. They look amazing. great for cinematography stuff. It's not so much about the actual camera body that you've got. It's more to do with the lenses, really. Obviously, sensors and stuff in the camera. If you just want a camera, get a secondhand DSLR. It doesn't really matter which one it is, as long as it can fit, all lenses on. You can get adapters and stuff. That's probably well worth the money. So once you've left uni, you've probably made, projects of your own and made money from them with that camera. And, you can upgrade it once you've left. I think, buy some equipment whilst you can. Obviously, you get student loan. Just save it. Use it on equipment. Don't use it on Just Eat every night for 3 years.
Yeah, and to save money, I would advise making good friends in year one, and then getting a shared house. Like the money you save on a shared house is insane.
So we got that with camera, and that's the thing that people say, oh yeah, but I want to like a big camera, like shooting raw, but the average Joe just doesn't care. Like, as long as it looks good. If it looks good on an Arri, it's going to look good on a Canon 60D. But what about sound as well? Like, I know, Hayden, you've mentioned things about that, haven't you? I guess you as well would have thought about this. So what was the sound recording and microphones that you were looking at, Hayden?
What do you mean by that?
The equipment that just for general price range that people would be looking at.
Obviously you've got Sound Mix, which is like probably the most expensive option. They've got their kind of like professionals standard, basically. Like they're what most professional sound recorders use, but you've also got cheaper options like the Zoom F8N. That's a pretty good option for mid to high level recorders. You could also downgrade to like a Zoom F6N. That's also a bit on the lower end. But if you're just starting out, I would say you definitely should go for like mid-range. Don't go too high for starters, because not only have you got to pay for the sound recorder, you've also got to pay for stuff like microphones. You'll definitely have to learn to drive for the jobs, because it's not only that, but you've also got to store your equipment somewhere. So yeah, you need a car just to carry your equipment around. You're not going to be able to fit it all on a bus, I imagine. Well, you might be able to if you're like got a big backpack or something like that, but it's unlikely. Obviously, you've got microphones, boom poles.
Don't get a bad boom pole. If you're going to commit, get a good boom pole. Because if you may think you're saving money by getting like a 20 quid one, right? But if you hold it like that, it's gonna if you start eventually you're gonna obviously get a bit stressed, right? And then it's gonna start wobbling and it's gonna sound shit. So the time you actually save by just buying like an 80 quid boom pole is just so much better.
Yeah, radio mics are also a very important thing. It's something they don't really teach in uni much. Radio mics, has anybody used them here?
I think there was an optional module on like those, which I didn't do.
Oh yeah, the lapels are good.
Yeah, like a lot of sound recorders use lapels as well, especially like in when you've got really big wide shots that Jeff likes to use, and it becomes a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to like switch it up to like radio mics and stuff like that, or you may record both. They're quite expensive though. That's the only issue with them. Like I think in total it'll be like 500 quid each, something like that.
But I think
not entirely sure off
comparatively, if you're smart with your money, if you know you're committed to sound, I think if you're smart with your money as a student, which lol probably not because you're a student, right? But I think you could safely, even without a job, safely leave uni with a solid set of kit, right? Because a baseline mix, like the ones uni would have, like a DR70 or something, right? They're like under 300. Good boom pole, under 100. Mics, obviously, depending on what you want. Like you could buy a very, very solid set of kit for like under £1,000, and then you can easily go out.
Just as a starting out kit.
Yeah, and then because sound's easier to upgrade.
I
right?
suppose you could go without the radio mics.
Yeah, because you just go, I don't know, this mic's packed it in. Okay, I don't need to buy everything new. I just need a new mic. Off you go.
Yeah. I think with the radio mics as well, if you're going to get radio mics, I'd probably start out just getting one, maybe, because it can get quite pricey when you start to like get 2 or 3 or 4. So just get one to start with, I'd say, as well as like the boom kit and all that lot.
I'll also just, while you're at uni, book out SoundKit and learn how to use it, because the amount of work you can get like as a student, if you know sound, is insane. Because as everyone wants to be a cinematographer, well, 90% wants to be a cinematographer, right? You will get you will have so much more limited work because you want to do that because everyone else wants to. Where if you say I want to be a sound recordist, you can get on near enough every project you ever want to, and then that makes your show real insane. And then if you cock some up, you learn a lot quicker because you're on more stuff.
And it's like your lecturers are obviously there for you. Obviously, they're there to teach the curriculum, the modules and stuff. But also, if you've got anything else that you want to learn, say if I don't know your course didn't teach you much about lapel mics, if at all, you go up to someone and say, "Oh, I want to learn about lapel mics." They'll probably like make time for you to come in. Obviously, when you're not in a lecture, to learn them. That's happened quite a bit with people I know. It's like, oh, I want to learn this. So the lecturer's like, okay, I'll get you in touch with this person. They'll teach you all about it.
Yeah, it was like the extracurricular, learning the rigs and the jibs. It's like literally, it's not mandatory, but here's a sign-up sheet. If we get enough people, we'll do it. Yeah, and then so that's more based on someone has to like actively ask for it. It's not base. Yeah, but like our year, we all learn how to use a jib because
you learn what you want.
Timmins, I think it was Timmins, just went. He just pointed in the middle of the lecture, just went, I want to use that. And he just went, okay, and then our lecturer went, here's a sign-up sheet. If we get 10 people, we'll schedule it for a lecture.
Yeah.
The same happened with the, I forgot what it's called, the Ronin. I
fucking hate the Ronin, man. It takes an eternity to set up.
Yeah, every time they try to teach, same with college.
Did you have one at college? A certain larger technician teach you the Ronin?
Yeah, he was actually really good with us.
He's lovely, but he just talks for a year.
But when it came to working it, it's like
it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, basically you just do this, you do X, Y, and Z, and you do it. It just doesn't work. Just going back to like in college, when I went to college, they also had one, and they also told certain people about it. And it wasn't anyone in our class; it was in the other class because we're in 2 classes at college. And someone else was being taught it. I'll have a board in. Oh.
He might have a delivery.
Oh, okay. And they were taught, so basically X, Y, and Z, you just do this. And they did it. They followed the instructions, and it just went, because it's on motors, and it has to be done right. And then it just started, you started smelling that plastically burning smell, which is like, oh dear, yeah.
I mean, I'm not camera's not my thing, right? But I would much rather get a slightly more unstable shot using an easy rig and have...
Yeah,
I could probably have about 8 takes by the time I've set up that bloody Ronin, because that Ronin just like swing. It's like, no, it finally, and then it goes, and you're like, okay, no, it doesn't. Let's just go again.
Well, just hold it, because there's getting a DSLR, but the heavier the camera is, the steadier it's going to be, because like you get those little micro jitters where you hold a camera like that, but if you get a larger camera, you're not going to have those jitters. Even if you get a smaller camera, then build it up. You build a cage, you put rails on it, you put like handles and a shoulder pad on it, and there you go. And that's cheap as anything to do.
I mean, we didn't do any of we put the red, I think, definitely the F5, maybe the red on an easy rig. Like we had a couple of takes for him to get used to it. After that, we're like, okay, do your stupid cameraman crab walk, and off we go. And then you put a stabilizer in post if you need to, and then you're golden.
I'm just going back to the average Joe.
Stabilizers.
Oh no. But the average Joe, when they look at like a smooth moving shot, or one with just like a little bit of like a walk on it, it doesn't matter to them. What matters is the shot.
Yeah, as long as you're not going like that.
It's like with Bouncing Betty, editing it, obviously I noticed kind of all the imperfections in like the camera moves and the audio and stuff like that. And like what I see is a major issue. You play it like on a big screen at like the quad or something, no one notices. No. It's like I remember in one of the shots actually, for a split second, you could see Evans holding the camera in a door when it opens. That looked so obvious to me, but no one spotted it. Well,
yeah, because you literally. That's why I hate editing, because you just on the same bit over and over, and you're like, I don't know how to fix this. Like we do not have the ability to fix this, and you go, it's literally on screen for less than a second.
Yeah.
Oh, fix it in post. Yeah.
I also just can't edit because listening to the same thing over and over just tests me.
Fixing it in post is not always possible. Remember, I worked with a group of people. I worked with a group of people who were making a short film. Many issues with it. Main issue being the insane amount of camera shake. And it got to editing the footage, and I was like, half of this footage isn't even usable. Like it's so shaky, and the bit rate you've recorded at stuff, it's wrong. You set the white balance in a different room half an hour before filming. It's like this footage isn't usable. I can't fix it. There's like, just whack a warp stabilizer on it. And I did that. So I was going, not everything's fixable in post. Try and do as much as you can whilst you're there.
Yeah.
Obviously, fixing it in post just means little imperfections that just need ironing out, or a green screen, something like that. If you're white, but I mean you can fix white balance, but obviously it isn't going to be completely perfect because you've got to kind of do it by eye, really. There's like color picker tools where you select something that's white, but usually that kind of blows everything out. Software is never the best when it comes to fixing that kind of stuff. Obviously, it is possible, but when you've kind of recorded at a really low bit rate as well, you start noticing all the artifacts after you've like edited stuff. Like if it was underexposed, kind of things like that. If you're not recording the proper, standard that you should be, kind of doing anything in post is pretty much impossible.
And that doesn't matter when it comes to camera, because a lot of people, like, they'll get like a red and be like, oh yeah, look, we got all this dynamic range, we don't need to light it. And it's like, bro,
my God,
no, like that dynamic range is just that juicy, that meaty bit. Like, it just doesn't mean
lighting.
If there's ever a film set where they go, if there isn't a light, I'm leaving.
I do think though, in uni, I think the main thing to remember when you're doing film is to actually enjoy yourself with it. There's not particularly a proper formula to do stuff the right way. Obviously you do it how you want to do it. Obviously there are kind of standards that you should follow, obviously when it comes to filming, and what format you're recording at, stuff like that should always be correct. But kind of, I don't know, other stuff. So some people take being like doing things absolutely to the letter and professionally a bit too far, which can sometimes degrade the quality of the final product.
Right, and also like if you're so to the letter, you don't really get any creative flair. You just like kind of
exactly.
Like, you go, okay, like you're probably going to smash it as corporate and happy days, right? But if you want to do anything creative, you're just a boring person.
And it's like I was with a group once that were we were doing a short film, and I was also editing it as well, and I was also doing the slate on it because they needed someone to do that. So I thought, brilliant, I'm editing it and I'm doing the slate. I can label them how I want because I'm the one editing it. I'll know exactly what things mean and where to put stuff, and but they wanted me to slate it a specific way. They wanted me to have like very specific things on the slate, which I couldn't like understand why they wanted it. When it was it was labeled so strangely. It was like scene 2 when really it was Scene 2 shot 3 part to 0.5, some rubbish like this. I was like, what does this mean? I was like, oh, it all makes sense at the end. I come to edit it and I've got like shot 10, scene 5.5, version 1.7. I'm like, where does this go? It's like, don't do stuff to be, just to be extra. Try and make it as simple as possible.
It's a bit worrying that they went, it will make sense like in the edit, and you're sat there as the editor's going, well, I'm telling you now, it doesn't.
I got it done in the end. I had to piece it together from the actual kind of, I don't even think there was a storyboard.
Probably script on the other monitors going, yeah. That makes sense.
That's how I ended up doing it. But
don't overcomplicate things. Just do it normal.
Keep it fun, but also do it right.
Yeah, if you have fun on a film set, you're flying.
Yeah.
It's just if you're not working, then why should it feel like work?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, you've got to have the seriousness of like when it gets like you're all good for a laugh, right? But when it gets to crunch time, you've got to have also the authority to go, right, like we're behind schedule now. We need to chop, and then you need people to like snap into it.
But if people are enjoying themselves on set, we're not particularly strapped for time or anything, but you're coming in there as like an AD going, come on guys, we need this wrap by 5, blah, 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 blah. I've got to do something. I've got to get going. You have to. I think we worked with someone like that, didn't we, Ben?
Yes, we did.
On a film, and
they lasted a whole day before I got rid of them. Because it's just not the vibe I was going for. I understand what he was doing. Like, he had obviously researched the role and was trying to do that. But I'm like, like as Adam just said, you can't come onto like a casual, well, not casual, but like everyone's happy, chilling.
Laid back.
We're getting.
We were on time.
We're well ahead, and go. We don't need to. I also think at the time we were transferring footage. So we couldn't actually do anything. Like, we were transferring to a hard drive because our memory card was full. He was like, go. I just went, we literally cannot
It was
go
like
anywhere.
It was a war or something. Go, come on, let's get moving.
Like, it's lunch break, we're transferring footage. I'm not going anywhere. Thank you.
Did a nice co-op run for everyone. I remember that.
Yeah.
Co-op. Also... take advantage of discounts whilst you're a film student. For example, Adobe, even free stuff. You've got DaVinci Resolve, amazing for color grading, and they've got a free version. You don't even need the paid version unless you want to do.
I've still got Adobe Student because they don't shut down your emails. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Amazon Prime. Get Amazon Prime Student. Get next day delivery on your batteries. Oh,
I did many a time.
That's like $3.99 now a month. You can't go wrong.
Well, what about you, Adam? Because we talk about like camera and sound equipment after uni.
Yeah,
you're pretty well set, aren't you?
I suppose so. I've got a version of Premiere.
Well, then again, you
could have made that sound a bit more discreet. I'll be honest.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, like Premiere, you got a subscription. You don't need to put a subscription if you buy a camera. You bought it. You don't need to keep paying for it unless
with Premiere you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's also
Premiere,
like
you meant to.
Like currently, like if you've not got any work, you literally can just go, okay, cancel sub. I don't need to pay this.
Yeah, literally, it's nothing. It's nothing really going on.
There's no real expense unless you forget to cancel your subscription.
Yeah, it's pretty much set. There's plenty of plugins that are free and stuff and paid.
Mubi.
What's that?
It's like an indie foreign film streaming service. If you're a student, you can get it for free.
Mubi.
Yeah, Mubi. I set my graduation date for 2022, which is
that's naughty. That's fraud. Oh yeah, look at this. Fantastic, Mr. Fox.
Apparently, even though we've graduated, you can still use your uni email for things like that. So
keep that in mind.
Yeah, as I say, I've had Adobe since year one, and I'm this year it would be 2 years after I graduated, and I'm still using it. I'm like, until you stop it, mate. I'm more than happy with a £30 a month discount. Thank you.
How much is it a month again?
It's $16.50 if you're a student, and it's like 45 or something if you're not. It's insane.
I'd say that's worth it because you get.
It is worth it if you have constant work.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But like, for example, I wanted it the other during lockdown too. Right, I was like, I'm so bored. I've got very limited work. I just sort of want to piss around. Right. I'm not gonna happily pay 45 quid to just, I don't know, maybe a couple of times a week have a bit of a laugh. Right. 16 quid, whatever. Like. Have a bit of. It gives me more incentive to actually do stuff.
Yeah.
New topic.
Sure.
Oh, actually, I've
we're on this one for a while.
I've got a little treat for you guys. I've gotten you a gift, Jeff and Hayden. Ben's already heard it earlier. I've done you a little advertisement slash sting for the podcast. Just want you to let me know what you think of this. I'll get it played for you.
You're advertising on our podcast, or you're advertising?
It's advertising the podcast on your podcast.
On your podcast.
Okay. It's an endless loop.
Listen. So this is for anyone on the radio, right?
You are presently listening to the Fine Cut Podcast with Hayden White and Jethro Randell. They talk about film and all sorts of other things. And best of all, they both got massive cocks. The Fine Cut Podcast.
How was that? I've got a confession to make. This is actually still part of the stinger. You thought I was actually talking to you when really you just spoke to a recording.
Oh, got heartburn now.
I made that for you guys.
Oh,
Jeff's going on and laughed it. Jeff's gone on and laughed it after that.
Oh,
thanks very much.
It still hasn't ended. There was just a very long pause. Okay, sorry to disturb. Now back to the show.
Has it finished?
I think so. It's just my little gift for you.
Oh,
that's brilliant.
A Fine Cut Podcast.
Oh.
I'm going to Adam Nixon for the weather.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Now for the travel.
Right, okay. Listen, we can finally move on.
Yeah, we can move on now. There's a little intermission there.
So
what's up next?
Yeah, I'm talking about different unis building fences around student accommodations. It's like Berlin Wall all over again.
I'd say, to be fair,
students yanking things down.
Controversial. I can understand it. Uni students, I don't know. I don't think you can trust them to the majority of them, especially, or I don't know, like in student halls, it gets very wild there. As much as they say, "Oh, we're social distancing," blah blah blah.
They are absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. Not a chance.
I agree to the extent of they shouldn't be charged for it, right? If they're forced to stay there, that's fine, right? But if we're keeping them in, stay in. I'm not giving you free accommodation for you to go and piss about.
They have courtyards, but I think some of them did take it a bit too far and they blocked off the courtyards. I feel as though the entire halls, I've seen them where they're blocking off halls into different flats and they're all staying in their individual flats. They can't go in the courtyard or anything. I feel as though most uni accommodations it's like a square. And they have a courtyard in the middle. The large majority of them are like that. I feel as though they should have split the courtyards up into 4 parts, had each individual block bubbled. So then you've obviously got a lot of people who you can still talk to and go and see and whatever, and you can go outside in a designated area. I think that would have been better for them rather than, blocking them off flat by flat and not allowing them to go outside at all.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read much into it, but I guess it would depend. If that's like just universally what they're doing, I think that's stupid. But dependent on the region and how poorly it's doing, then maybe.
It is crazy though how there's still people like the students, because the company I work for, we offer PCR pre-flight tests, and I get phone calls from like people who work at uni. It's like, oh, we've got an 18-year-old guy here. He's been stuck in the country for almost a year now because of COVID. He's finally trying to get back home. How do we book a COVID test? And it's like there's people who've been here, like it's literally stuck in their accommodation for like a year. It's mad.
It's insane.
And they've not been able to like see their family or anything. Like they shouldn't have even. They should have gone back for like Christmas and stuff. They had to, stay in the UK in a shitty student hall for over a year.
Feliz Navidad.
It's so bad though with these PCR tests, because the majority of airlines and what most companies recommend is that you have the test 72 hours before your flight, because the results can take 48 hours to actually get to you.
Okay.
The majority of people don't read that. So they're like, yeah, I'm flying tomorrow. I need a COVID test, or this student needs a COVID test. I'm like, you've fucked it. There's absolutely no way that you're going to get your results in time. Well, why not? Because that's just how it works.
Mm-hmm. Or going back in time, last March 2020, I know that me and you, Adam, were quite ill, possibly COVID positive, but
after going to Mosh.
Yeah, just some clarification. This was a couple of weeks after the first case was in the UK, and no one really knew the general population on the ground didn't really know.
No one knew the extent of it. I've seen articles where they're like, oh, it's not going to turn into a pandemic. January last year. But
it's like, oh yeah, our government knows what to do about it. But
yeah.
But yeah, we went to Mosh on Friday, and then like Monday, Tuesday, it was like, oh, I've got a bit of a cough. And it's like, mate, that's like symptoms of like coronavirus. And it's like,
we were like,
bruh. But no, like we were ill.
We were very ill.
The point of that is we were very ill at the point of lockdown. So a lot of people traveling back home because they're being locked down, they want to be at like a proper home. We were stuck at uni.
You've name dropped.
Yeah, because me and you, we were stuck at our university houses while everyone else was just going home, like a mass exodus all the way across the country, all these different unis to all these different parts of the country. We were stuck in our uni halls. Well,
I wanted to get my money's worth though, because I was paying for that place for the whole year. I wanted to stay there until the end. I'm getting my money's worth. I don't care if there's COVID. I'm getting my money's worth for my rent. Thanks.
Then again, it was peaceful. Like no one else like really about.
The rest of my housemates were still there. That was.
Well, did they get symptoms?
No, but kind of as soon as I started getting symptoms of that, this was kind of just before the lockdown. Obviously, I actually went home for the weekend, and I was in bed constantly. But it was interesting.
That bed right there.
That's the one. That's what I'm getting rid of. Actually, I've actually remodeled my entire bedroom in Trimble SketchUp, and I've imported 2 scale models of IKEA products so I can figure out where I'm putting stuff when I redo my room. A bit extra, but it's working.
No, more power to you. That's like
I'll send you a photo.
We have
actually,
the technology.
I'm very impressed with myself. Let me save a photo here. You can put it up, Hayden. Everyone can see what my room's going to look like. Hang on.
This is the content people follow for.
This is the most exciting thing I've done in like months, to be honest. And that's saying a lot. Where did it save to? Sorry, lads. Here we are. I'll put it in this chat here. I think there you go.
Oh, why don't you share screen?
I don't think I can, actually. Yeah, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Am I the host?
I believe
Got
so.
a dictator, Jeff.
Oh, I don't know how to fix it. Sorry, lads. Yeah, we'll just have a look at that. So it's click to download. I don't trust my internet, but I will say good job and
download it afterwards. Have a look.
Yeah, save it for later. But yeah, like our uni doesn't seem that bad. I mean, obviously right now lockdown and everything, and as things are going, it's like, well, because how it was with us, those who were right, because there was a choice, make a film or write a script. Those who chose to write a script, they were going to do it anyway. Us doing film or making a film, predicted grades.
I do think that we were lucky in the fact that we got to do the majority of the course, because obviously there's people who are now missing like whole years of doing practical work just because of COVID. We were lucky in the fact that we got to actually do stuff before the lockdown. Obviously, we missed out on our final project, and as you said, it was all predicted grades. But yeah,
I mean, imagine if you're like a second year, last year, right? So now you're a last year, right? You go, I've finished uni, right? In my opinion, the degree is rather useless, right? So you're like, I've got this useless degree. I also don't have a show reel, and I have no training on cameras. Yeah. Please hire me. like how hard? Realistically, I think you're gonna either have to work up real hard, or you just change career. Like honestly, if you are going to be so hard to hire.
Sorry.
No, good.
Just I've heard from the grapevine that Derby Uni have offered people, like just all students in general, indefinite deferrals. Like they can defer a year or another year, just until everything's blown over, which...
I wish we could have done that, to be fair.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's a shame that happened, just after we left. But I understand it, because I mean, everyone thought this was going to be over by the end of 2020, and we're now, start of 2021. No
but
sign of it going anywhere.
If I'm very happy that they're happy to defer, right? But if you think everyone defers till after the pandemic, that following year rammed.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah,
and then we're like, and from our uni, we're already on limited resources.
And there's also the fact that our year, Jeff and Hayden, that we're able to use their equipment once the pandemic's over to make our final film. So that's going to be 1, 2, like maybe 4 years worth of people all trying to use the equipment at once.
Yeah. So if you're a last year, like I assume you want to use the red and the arrows, right? You're going to have 2 years instead of 1 trying to access that equipment.
Yeah.
And there's however many you were, and because of the deferrals, there's probably going to be even more on the following year. So you're going to be 100+ people trying to get hold of 4 cameras. Good luck.
Yeah.
Although I guess you could maybe get it while they're still training in it, right?
But I'm using Omar, so he's got his own.
Yeah, I bet Omar's busy.
Is he busy? Oh, he's doing like Netflix stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, he was
there you
camera
go.
guy
Uni
on
opportunities.
Sex education.
Sex education.
Got a mate working for whatever company, Netflix. Brilliant.
I mean, Omar's insane. And lovely.
Lad.
Like you would think a guy of that skill and like that, he would have an ego. Nah, he's so nice.
Lovely lad.
Just mellow and chill. It's like when you chew a mint.
I feel like I zoned out for like a second, and we've gone from Omar to like a tree ball.
No, like you chew a mint, so and it's confused. Like, no, it's like if you had to. No, if you were to say, if anyone were to be anything, you'd think of things for people, wouldn't you?
You've lost me.
Am I the only one?
You've lost me comparing Omar to a mint. I'm welcome.
Omar's mint ears.
Omar is mint. He's a smint him.
It's like one of those fresh mints. You chew it and you're like, oh yeah, I love this.
A breath of fresh air. Quite literally.
Poetic. I'll leave with that because
Douglas.
So there's obviously a list of directors that went to uni and directors that didn't go to uni. And it's quite surprising, actually, who went to uni and who didn't. So for directors that went to uni, you've got obviously George Lucas, Gareth Edwards. Do people know who he is?
Yeah.
Godzilla director.
Which Godzilla?
Yeah. He went to Barnum. The 2014 one.
Okay.
Rogue One as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh yeah, Rogue One. Yeah, I always forget. Yeah, the forgotten, the best one of the new trilogy, if you'd even call that new Star Wars films, not new trilogy.
Who else went to? Well,
there's also
a uni or film school. Are we classing film school as
Ben Douglas?
Yeah.
Uni?
What?
Renowned director, went to uni.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'm not a director, Adam.
You may as well have been in that film.
No, no comment.
Christopher Nolan. He went to uni, but he studied English literature. Didn't have anything to do with film.
Yeah,
but he just had just happened to have a Bolex. Go make some films, and he did. And
he's got a degree.
Yeah, yeah, come full circle, getting a degree and going.
Yeah, he usually he did it because he wanted the equipment from the university store, didn't he? Is that
smart man?
Yeah,
part of the reason why he
can't blame him.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah. There's other guys. There's Sam Mendes. He didn't study film, but he went to university. Paul Thomas Anderson did a degree as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was in English, and did left after that because he said it wasn't for him.
So should the question?
Got other guys like that indie director called Ben Wheatley. He went to uni.
Oh, I met Ben Wheatley.
I recognise that name.
He was. You met him as well. It was first year. Our Clive Barker lecturer. He brought him in.
I was barely present for that entire year. I'll be honest. So I know.
Okay. Well, you might have been there. It was definitely first year, and it was.
Oh, I might have. Yeah,
it was in the lecture hall which looks down. Ben Wheatley's the larger looking man. Yeah.
I remember.
So should the question be, instead of the question being that, do you need to study film to do film? Is it that, do you need to have some sort of uni qualification to do that?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you're good, you're going to get picked up either way. If you start putting stuff on YouTube and someone's like, wow, you're mint, you are, they just start, yeah.
I think a degree in general, no. A film degree also, no, but it obviously helps because you get people on the same field as you.
Yeah, you've got experience in it. You've had,
Well, even if you don't have experience, you kind of go, I want to be a director. And you don't just approach some random guy on a film. So you just go to your peers and go, yo, do you want to make a film?
Let's say like a junior job on a film set, if you get one, the majority of the time you're starting off as a runner. But let's say you get a job on a film set and we're looking for 3 years of experience. If you've gone to uni, you've got that 3 years of experience, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But you can blag a bit as well. You can say I did X, Y, Z while I was at uni. List a couple more projects, but then
if your project wasn't very good, you can be as vague as possible. For example, a 3-minute commercial for a local company, which was viewed at Gardener's World Live. You know the one I'm talking about, Ben?
Oh, yes. The urban worm.
Sense of that.
You're not going to pitch yourself and be like, yeah, it's not very good. I mean, it was okay.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to say that, are you?
But then you get the people who big themselves up far too much. I know a few of them. Not naming any names, but I know quite a few of those. And they obviously big themselves up. They get all of these jobs, and then the jobs that they do look kind of crap, to be honest. That's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, just don't big yourself up too much to the point.
Especially at a low level.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to
big yourself
replace
up
you.
To be like, exactly. To be some sort of like mastermind at like video production.
You're like, I am the god of runners. And they go, well, actually, you're shit. And we'll just get this guy in because you're a runner.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Like, once you're in film, you're in. If you cock it up, you're out. Because it's like if I'm hiring for a film, right? I'll hire. I understand the same people, right? Because it's just easier than me going to post a job and apply and get people to apply. I just go, Adam's good at editing. I'll get him. So like word of mouth is just king. So if you cock it up, they'll just go, don't hire him. He's an arsehole. And then that's another set of people just locked off because you were a dickhead one day on set. Just don't.
Was it the Dunning-Kruger model where it's like a graph for comparing experience and how you view your experience? So you got your experience at the bottom, and the y-axis is how you view it. And with zero experience, you think, oh yeah, I know all this stuff about everything like that. But the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, and you start to travel all the way down, and then you come back up again just at the bottom. You got those people at the top who really don't know a lot about it, but don't know they don't know. They think they know a lot. So
yeah.
And another question, how do you realize that you're in that point? How do you know what you don't know, in a way?
I think one thing I've noticed about a few, I don't know, I suppose it's just people in general, really, but more specifically on just kind of film related things. I think quite a lot of people aren't very self-aware. For example, they create something, they think they've done a really good job and just can't see any problems with it. Whereas like you should really be looking for, anything that could be like you look at something and you should be thinking, how could I have done this better?
Yeah.
Actually critically analyze your own work. I don't think people do that enough, especially on film courses.
There's nothing wrong with being proud of what you've made, but you also have to think.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can take Bouncy Bear, for example. I'm very, very happy with it, but there are also so many things that I could have done differently.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking this is the best. This is my path to Hollywood, right?
But you would have done it than have just not done it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like, now knowing Trish and how mental she is, like, I mean, I would say like the crew, but I already knew the crew, right? Well enough. But like, yeah, like Trish is just a gateway to madness, which is waiting to be tapped eventually.
Got a load of crazy friends as well, like Gerard and legend.
You want to do a quiz?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for this. Are we submitting the answers?
You told me, and I note down your answers, and I note down who's won, and
all right,
say
brilliant.
Who's got the most. So 10 questions. If it's a number, it'll be whoever's closest. If it's multiple choice, there'll be 3 choices, and it's whoever gets it first. I'll say, yeah, you've got it.
So if the answer's B and I vote A and Adam votes C, and you say no, it's the first one to say B.
Yeah, so Hayden would automatically win then.
Okay. Right, okay, got you. Okay.
So 1 sec.
Gonna fail all of them miserably.
How long is the River Nile?
Jen!
What is the melting point of copper?
600.
500 Celsius.
Yeah, in Celsius.
Yeah,
500.
600.
Hayden.
Quickly Googling them.
No,
it's 500.
500.
Say that.
Well, if you get a different one, if you get something different than what someone else gets, then you might get the right answer, even if you're closest. Whereas closest wins.
501.
501.
501.
Right, if it's actually 515, you've just been cooked by one.
Okay. I'll tell them at the end. What is the average age of an MP in the UK?
45.
52.
52. Hayden?
47.
47. Okay. In 2019, how many films were produced in the UK?
I knew this one.
How the fuck did you know this?
I read it somewhere, but I read it once and never again.
Are we talking? I assume you mean like big films, not just films in general, right?
Oh yeah, like large-ish films.
Like blockbusters, yeah.
Yeah,
not just how many films is that? Right, well, let's add all the unis together and have a guess.
Blockbusters to like mid-level stuff.
210.
210.
180.
Okay. Hayden?
150.
150. Okay. In 2010, how many films were produced in the UK?
90.
47.
60.
60.
They're Hayden like.
I need a minute to think on this. 63 with 2 cancelled.
When did the When did the Arri Alexa Mini come out?
Oh, let me just have a quick think here. No, I'm joking.
Right, so we got them last year. So
2016.
Okay.
2017.
2015.
Oh.
Oh.
Okie doke. And you weren't just Googling there.
No.
Okay. The height of Big Ben.
In what, meters, feet?
Meters.
Which Big Ben? That one?
Oh, can't be asked with imperial measurements. Like, who uses imperial measurements anyway?
200 meters.
Okay.
No, I'll go with that.
Okay.
230.
230.
Ben's is in centimeters.
Hayden.
210.
210. Okay. How far is the moon in kilometers?
Never measured anything in kilometers, I'll be honest.
Just get your tape measure out and be like,
right, let's have a look here then.
It's more than 10 meters, know that, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
200,000, I don't know.
200,001.
200,000.
Bastard.
200,001. Hayden, if you say 200,002, that would...
210,000.
210,000. Okay. Brilliant. Number 8. How many wives did Boris Johnson have?
Oh shit!
Wives.
I mean, I don't know.
2.
I'm gonna go
Divorced,
4.
beheaded, died.
I was genuinely, when I heard how many wives, I just went, I did history 3 times over for this. I'm ready.
What's yours, Hayden?
I'm gonna go 4.
4. What? Adam guess 4.
It's fine. Hayden can guess 4 as well. We'll have a split.
I mean, he's shagged more than 4, but I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
if he's
but
married
not
more.
married.
Yeah, I'm
how
saying
many,
he
how
has
many
to be
children does he have? That is
10.
What, officially or unofficially? I think officially, like, none. Unofficially.
Number 9. How many cinema screens are there in the UK?
God, does that include Derby Quad?
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I guess so anyway, because they're officially.
But what counts as a cinema screen? Is it a company that is a cinema?
Individual screens within a cinema.
Okay, so it actually has to be a cinema.
Can't just be like your big TV in your bedroom.
I'm not Googling it, but I just need to do a bit of maths if that's okay. Can I get a calculator up?
Yeah. Guys, do you want to guess? Do you want to throw anything out there?
I'm also doing quick maths in my head. I'm thinking how many
quick maths. Quick maths, yeah. Hayden, do you need to do any maths?
I'll go 300.
300?
No. I'm
3,000 is what I'm saying.
3,000. Okay.
2,300.
And that's just me assuming that there's about 240 cinemas total in the UK, which is definitely not right.
Hayden, what do you say? Sorry.
I was going to say 280. Just
280. 280.
Yeah, 280.
Okay.
I basically went through. I basically went for each city. There's a Cineworld, a Showcase, and an Odeon, averaging about 6 screens.
Okay. Number 10. The accretion disk in astronomy is refers to as the plane in which planets orbit the sun, the matter that surrounds a black hole, or the rings around Saturn.
Again?
The first one.
Well, A, the plane in which planets orbit the sun. B, the matter that surrounds a black hole. Or C, the rings around Saturn.
C.
Okay. Ben, do you say the first one?
First one, yeah.
Okay. Hayden.
Well, I'm going to have to go second, aren't I? Because everybody else has picked.
Okay. Now, do you want to know who the winner is?
Go on.
Ben. 4. Adam and Hayden come joint second.
Oh.
3.
Oh,
tell us the answers. Tell us the answers. Go on.
The melting point of copper is 1,085.
That's 1 point to me, boys. We're in.
The average age of a UK MP is 50. In 2019, the films produced in the UK 188.
Wow.
But in 2010,
I can't remember what I said.
I
said 180.
Yeah.
Oh.
But in 2010, it was 376.
So we've shat the bed since then. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the graph, like it just went, oh yeah, 2017, and then 2018, 2019.
You got 2020 off the scale. Minus one films were made.
When did the Ariel Extra Mini come out? It was 2015. Well done, Hayden.
Ooh.
Big Ben, 96 meters.
We're a bit far off.
I can't measure stuff.
How far is the moon? 384,400 kilometers. So,
who was closest?
Hayden.
I have my tape measure and everything.
How many wives did Boris Johnson have?
Yes.
That should just be the answer, just yes, to be honest.
He had 2 wives. His latest one he divorced last year, but he's been shacking up with another lady since 2018, so make that of you will.
Oh,
It's all them bikes.
That's it.
Think of the thighs on Bojo.
Oh, don't.
Robert, no. Cinema screens in the UK, 4,264.
Did I win that one?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. On the accretion disk, it is B, the matter that surrounds a black hole.
The answer that was forced upon Hayden, wasn't it?
Yeah. So well done, Hayden. Oh,
Brilliant stuff.
so yeah. So yeah, Ben, you win. You win our undying respect, and
Can I get a refund?
And the coveted Final Cut Podcast trophy.
oh,
What is it? Is it like the Pointless trophy?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, you watched Pointless.
we don't have
No,
the
I
budget for
fucking
anything
don't.
like that.
I have better things to do at 6 o'clock.
Oh, still have broadcast TV. But
So
yeah,
kind of in conclusion to our main question, is it worth going to uni for film? The answer is if you want.
I would advise it, but I can't blame. But
do what you
it's
like.
not. It's not difficult to. If it's, I would give it. It gives you an advantage, a significant advantage, but it's not impossible to enter film without it.
Depends what it is, because if they have good equipment, then yeah, definitely. But if they just got like basic stuff, then
But it depends what they want to be as well.
Oh yeah. But
Like
look over...
you can't really say I want to be the next Christopher Nolan, and then kind of go okay, but I have no experience with any camera.
But again, it's look at your options, keep looking, don't just rush into things. Looking at what you need to do, it's an important decision. So don't.
And if you can get into an FTS, because then you're set for life.
What would you say, Hayden?
It really depends on who you are, really. Like it depends on who you are, what you want to do, because it's not just film. There's TV. TV's a completely different ball game.
Saying that, there's even there's marketing,
also
commercials and stuff. Yeah.
So it's like when you do film production, it's not just about the film industry. It's about different industries, I guess, because you've also got like wedding videographers as well. You could even go into not
at the moment.
Banks.
So
it would be a tough market to conquer now.
Yeah.
They usually make bank, don't they?
Yeah.
They must, because weddings are ridiculously expensive.
Timmins has done a few.
Timmins does it, yeah. But Timmins does the thing. I mean, Timmins is very, very good at what he does, right? But the way he gets them is he just goes to a technologically inept family and then goes, "I've got a drone," and goes meow and goes, "There's your wedding," and then they're like, "I'm in." Like,
get a drone and you can do wedding videos.
Yeah, just don't crash it. I'm just saying it helps. It is very, very good to sell it, right? Because you have the opening shot, and then you do a nice fade, and then you're in. Easy.
Just don't go.
And you get all the free food. It's big brain plate.
Buffet's open.
Get paid a shitload. Nice venue, and it's free.
But then again, if they're getting married near an airport, then yeah.
What?
If you're getting married near an airport, I'm questioning you.
Oh mate, doomed to fail that. Yeah.
And the couple.
Imagine filming audio for a wedding near an airport.
It's the couple's first song as a couple, and he's got a Ryanair plane going over. All the people clapping as they land.
Oh, apparently Warner Brothers thought in the 90s, because Babylon 5, like whenever they were filming that, that was right over the LAX flight path. So it's just.
That's what I did. I mean, it's to no extent that, but we had when I did the film at the Lake District. So for a flight path. Oh my god, I've never been so close to leaving a film set. So it's like, so I had to do I had to record a soft spoken, like heartfelt scene, right? On one side there's a river, right, which was very aggressive. Like we were right next to the waterfall because it looked nice, right? Fair enough. Try doing audio next to that. And then planes, and then on the other side of that there's a road. Like I was
right in the middle of it.
And then our second location on that film set was next to the M6. Like, I tell you, that was a test.
You had a great time. I think there's a photo of Ben actually just completely giving up. He sat in a corner with the boom just on his head.
There's genuinely one scene in that film which is silent because I just flat out refused and went to bed. It got to like 9 o'clock and we got one more scene. I just went, no, I'm off.
My god!
Just went to bed. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'd been up since like 7. Right, I'd done a 14-hour shift. I'm like, nah, no more.
I think we're about to crack that, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, we could discuss terrible film sets for hours.
Save it for another episode.
Oh, it'll be coming back. Oh,
Well, do you want to come back?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that'll be an episode in of itself, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, the return.
I'll get the notebook out for that one. I'll just be prepared.
Thank you very much to Ben Douglas and Adam Nixon. And this is Hayden White and Jethro Randell.
Thank you.
Try that one again, Jeff. So we'll just keep waving. Continuity, Adam. Come on.
This is Fine Cut Podcast signing off.